Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I would like to introduce you to the remotes that you use to tell your builder train what to ferry to you. So I have two different remotes. One's for the builder train. You can see that with the player icon up here. And one's for the outpost maintenance and artillery train, which you can see or identify with this icon. So how do they work? Down here, you set the loadout that you want, right, per wagon. So this is wagon 1, wagon 2, wagon 3, wagon 4. You have space for up to 10 wagons, even though I've set up the stations to only have 4 wagons, because in my experience that's more than long enough. Longer trains actually start to get annoying, but if you want longer trains, you can. You'll have to adjust this number according to the cargo wagons that your train has. Then if you turn this switch, watch these combinators down here. One by one you go through the combinators, right? You use this to send the loadout over the global network, which is ferried along next to the rail tracks to every outpost you have, and back from the outpost to the depots. And you use this switch to send this loadout back home. And over here you can do the reverse. You can delete the loadout without having to delete it down here. It's basically the same thing as if I went and I cleared out the loadout and then sent an empty loadout home. I can do the same thing with the switch. And over here, for this to function, very important, you need one of these, right? So these are the global memories for train dispatch, and you can only have one per global network. So on the map you will usually only ever have one of these. You may have two if you have two disconnected bases, right? So what happens is this is connected to the global network like so, and then you set up your loadout that you want. Let's just pretend this is a builder train loadout, or just show real quick. I have some default loadouts over here. This is for step 1 of outpost building, step 2 of outpost building, some random stuff that you might want, right? If I need a landfill train, I could just do this, or I need rails, or a more complex that has pretty much everything for building rails somewhere. And if I need to build more depots, I could use this instead. Let's go with the standard, the thing that you will use first. I send this back to the train, right? And now I want, let's say, 3 trains to deliver this to me. So I turn this switch 3 times and it's saved into the memory. And every time a depot dispatches a train, this will be decremented by 1 until the check marks are exhausted. At that point, no trains can leave the depot anymore. We'll see that in action at a later time. In here, I can also choose how many trains I want to send off with 1 turn of the switch. So let's say first I want to delete the memory, so no train will be dispatched. There we go, -5, turn it once. The lamps went off. That tells you that over here we don't have any trains to be dispatched anymore. And then let's say I want to send 10 trains. I turn the switch once and 10 trains will be dispatched. All right. Next, you have a couple settings over here. So this is for the loadout and this is for the wagon that you want the loadout in. So wagon 1, 2, 3, and 4. And more if you have more. And over here, you can select which train to go in. So let's say I have 2 different depots, and depot has wagon addresses 1 to depot 1 has wagon addresses 1 through 4, and depot 2 has wagon address 101 through 104. And over here, I can use this A signal to elevate that address, right? So if I activate this combinator, it'll send 1 loadout. I can't avoid that. That's well, I could, but that would make the remote a lot bigger, and I decided I just take this. So let's say train, you want your second depot to load the train instead, and then you'd elevate this and you send that home, and now you go, you don't have to change anything here. You only have to change it in this combinator. So even though there's a 1 here, it was actually sent to train 101, wagon 101, whichever train you assigned that to. Then this loadout will not be loaded into train 1, it'll instead be loaded into train 2. And over here, there's just a quick legend. You can change however you want this to change, but basically the A that tells you how much you need to elevate by, what you need to enter here to deliver it to the next train or something. If you have multiple setup, you can, of course, this is just a legend, this does nothing, you can change it however you want. Right, that's for the settings. There's no more settings. The lamps over here, this tells you whether or not you succeeded in delivering your loadout, or if you collided. We can see that in a second. If we do it like this, let's say we collided, I'm going to pause the game. And please watch this lamp now. Oh, I'm sorry, it was actually, what was this for? Gotta remember. If A is greater than 0. Might be that this does nothing anymore. Or I just forgot to change this, of course. So what is this? Right, this simply tells you if the elevator is on. Right, that's the idea with this. And I'd completely forgotten, so I need to up this loadout. It's been a while since I made this thing. I just leave it and I'll remember later. So I just have the same thing over here. Right. There you go. Okay. This is exactly the same remote, just for the builder train, and special in this case is instead of sending a certain number of trains that you want to be dispatched, on this side you simply toggle on or off whether the maintenance trains are allowed to leave the depot. This is basically you turn it once at the start of the game and it stays on unless you need to fix something. So if you want to turn it off, your outpost will not be served anymore, your guns will run out of ammo and stuff like that. There will be no more repair packs delivered, so you don't want to turn this off unless you need to fix an issue. The difference between the two memories is simply that this one keeps counting up, whereas this one keeps toggling between 1 and 0. All right. That's it for the remotes. Thank you very much for watching.